Bhagavad Gita, the song of the God. This is my journey through Bhagavad Gita. Disclaimer: the information provided here is for general informational purposes only. All information is provided in good faith. All information are in public domain and in public access. Hello everyone, I am Ranjan Bhattacharya, a civil servant from the state of West Bengal in India. This is my YouTube channel. Here I will be sharing my several educational videos or the knowledge that I gather from different sources. Apart from that, I'm a writer. I have got published my Bengali poetry book recently. I will be sharing my Bengali poetries too. And my first YouTube video will be on my journey through Bhagavad Gita, a sacred holy book in Hinduism, in Sanatana dharma. In Das Valley civilization, religion followed by the people of Harappan civilization is still to be fully understood. Their script hasn't been deciphered yet. There is instances of fire altars, mother goddess, Pashupati Shiva, priest, etc. When we talk about religion in Indian subcontinent, the first thing that come in our mind is Indus Valley civilization or Harappan civilization. There we have some traces of the pre-Hinduism, like the existence of fire altar in Kalibongan, the modern day Rajasthan, mother goddess, then Pashupati Shiva, a priest. All these figurines, be it in stone structure or in metal structure, were abundantly found in civilization, in Harappan civilization. So definitely they had the idea of religious beliefs and etc. But we cannot firmly conclude on this matter, be it political aspects of them or religious aspect, unless their scriptures is deciphered. Unless until their scriptures is deciphered. Rig Vedic society, developed by Aryans. Rig Vedic religion mostly prayed to Indra, Varuna, Agni, etc. And even though there was many gods, but the knowledge of the Supreme Soul was known to them. We have examples of it, like Ekam Shat Vipra Bahuda Vadanti and Yo Devanam Namdha Ekayava, and etc. These are the slokas of Rig Veda. It symbolizes the existence of Supreme Soul. After Indus Valley civilization, in Indian subcontinent, there was the emergence of rural-based Vedic society. It had two stages. One is Rig Vedic society and later Vedic society, based on socio-cultural, political, economic and religious beliefs. In Rig Vedic religion, we had at that time different names of gods like Indra, Varuna, Agni, and we can have slokas and stutis of those deities in Rig Veda. But apart from that, though there were many gods, but the Supreme Soul was known to them. They had the idea of Supreme Soul. Like we have an example of Ekam Sat Vipra Bahuda Vadanti. Sat is one, Ekam. Bahuda Vadanti, though it has many faces. Then we have Yo Devanam Namdha Ekayava. These slokas are from Rig Veda. It symbolizes that the supreme truth, the supreme identity, the supreme soul was known to them. And they had the idea of calling it by different names as per the convenience. Aryan migration. The branches of Aryan migration. Eastern branch, Iranians, Indo-Aryans. Western branch, Greeks, Hittites, Mitannis. And this Vedic society was developed by Aryans. There are differences in experts about the meaning of Aryans. Some say this is about their high birth, or some say it is only about the language. There is also an interesting fact about who are the Aryans, where was their homeland, and the way of migration. Some say they are from Arctic region, some say they are from Central Asia, some say they are originally from northern part of India. About the migration path of Aryans, some historians believe that they had two branches. One is eastern path and other one is western. In eastern part, like Iranians, then Indo-Aryans were the Aryans, and for western part there was several groups like Mitannis, Hittites and Greeks. Now in support of the statement, we have the similarities between Zend Avesta of Zoroastrians and Rig Veda of Indo-Aryans. Bughaz Koi inscription, a crucial archaeological find in modern-day Turkey. It is a peace treaty between two groups, Hittites and Mitannis. Here we have mentioning of several Vedic gods such as Indra, Varuna, Mitra, etc. Though it is very astonishing that a place called Bughaz Koi, situated in modern-day Turkey, from Bughaz Koi we got an inscription, a peace treaty between two groups, Mitannis and Hittites. There we have the mentioning of different Vedic gods like Indra, Varuna, Agni. Karma and Jnana. Karma relies on the idea of action and its consequences. If we have good actions, if we do good actions, then it will ultimately contribute to the good karma and eventually good future and good rebirth. There is an endless knot of these karmas, and Jnana refers to the wisdom. It talks about the realization of deeper understanding of the nature of reality, like who you are, the self-identity as well as the divine identity. In Samhita and Brahmana part of Vedas, we have the influence of this Karma Kanja. In Aranyakam and Upanishads, we have the influence of Gyan Kanja. Sankhya philosophy by sage Kapila, Yoga philosophy by sage Patanjali, and etc. And this difference between Karma Marga or Karma Kanja and Gyan Marga or Gyan Kanja went for a long time, and simultaneously we can see that other different dimensions were also opened by different sages. Like we have Sankhya philosophy by the sage Kapila, and it's totally based on the idea of dualism of Purush and Prakriti, where Purush is eternal, it is constant, and Prakriti is changeable in every moment. Then we have Yoga Mark by Rishi Patanjali. He puts forward the 8 different limbs or branches of yoga, and that ultimately leads to self-realization. Shruti and Smriti. Shruti means which is heard, and Smriti means which is remembered. In Hindu scriptures, we have two ways to look into it. The first one is, which is heard, or Shruti. There you can have Gyan Kanda and Karma Kanda. In Karma Kanda, we have Samhitas and Brahmanas of Vedas. In Gyan Kanda, or in knowledge part, we have Aranyakas and Upanishads. In Shrutis, which is remembered, we have several Puranas. Apart from that, we have several darshanas like Vaisheshik Darshana. Then we have Shankha Darshan, Yoga Darshan, Mimamsa, Vedanta, etc. Manusmriti. Here karma and jnana was given equal importance. We have a beautiful sloka in Manusmriti. There it says that karma and jnana, these two things were given equal importance. And it said karma liberates someone from sins and jnana ultimately provides immortality. Bhakti Marg. It focuses on the devotion of a devotee towards his or her God. It emphasizes on assuming Nirguna Brahma into an idol as a Shaguna Brahma. Then we have Bhakti Marg. It is all about the devotion a devotee puts towards his divine idol. And here you can have the idea of idolism. Evolution of religious paths. From Varnashramic Karma Marg to Jnana Marg and Bhakti Marg. So initially, the idea of religion in initial stage of Vedic society, it was dependent on doing karma based on Varnashrama. And in later phase, in Upanishadic phase, it was more inclined towards Jnana. And after that, in Puranic age, it was more attached with Bhakti Marg or devotional path. Gita's Sarva Dharma Samannaya. Bhagavad Gita unifies almost all the different paths of Sanatana Dharma. Then we have Bhagavad Gita. It provides Sarva Dharma Samannaya. We can have the merger of all different paths into it. Here, karma refers as Sarva Karmani. That is karma with right jnana, which is dedicated to God. That is Nishkama Karma. In Purushottama Tattva, Lord Krishna has ended this dualism and he said that he is everything, Nirguna as well as Saguna. Chapter 1. Arjuna Vishad Yoga, or observing the armies on the battleground of Kurukshetra. Dhritarashtra Vacha Dharmashetre Kurukshetre Samaveta Yujutsava Mamaka Pandavaschaiva Kim Kurvata Sanjaya. Dhritarashtra said, "Hey Sanjay, in intention to fight, after assembling in the holy place of Kurukshetra, what did my sons and the sons of Pandu do?" Here we have three important ideas. The first one is Sanjay had divine vision. It is said that initially Vyasdev offered this divine vision to the blind king Dhritarashtra, but he refused, saying that he cannot see the deaths of close relatives. That's why later it was given to Sanjaya. This is the first one. The second part is This Kurukshetra is termed as Dharma Kshetra. Why so? There are several sayings. The first one is the gods, the deities used to do rituals in this place. That's why this place is holy. Second is the Lord himself, the Lord Krishna himself was present in the battleground. So where you can have the Lord Krishna himself, that place is definitely a Dharma Kshetra. There is a warrior called Parshuram, who after eliminating all warrior classes from the world, he used to do Pitri Tarpana, or the offering of food to his ancestors. That's why the place is holy. Some say the king Kuru once cultivated here and got a boon that anyone who dies here gets heaven. Now come to the third aspect. Here, Dhritarashtra was in anxiety. Though he knew that they were to fight, but in inner sense, he had the idea that as the place is holy, so there might be some possibilities of an agreement between the two parties without shedding a single drop of blood. Here, we can correlate ourselves with Dhritarashtra. Whenever we face problem in our daily life, then we feel an anxiety, a sorrow, an inner urge not to go through direct confrontation, rather try to have an agreement, try to settle it, try to avoid it. So that was the mental state of Dhritarashtra too.
Sanjay Uvacham Drishtatu Pandavanikam Durang Duryodhanastada Acharjam Upasangam Raja Vachanam Abravit. Sanjay said, "Hey king, after looking at the army assembled by the sons of Pandu, King Duryodhana went to his teacher and said the following words."
As Sanjay had this divine vision, some says this divine vision is the gateway of the knowledge of Gita to the common people from the Lord himself.
Pashyatam Panduputranam Acharya Mahatim Chamum Buram Drupada Putrena Tava Sishyena Dhimata. O teacher, see the great army of the sons of Pandu, so beautifully arranged by your intelligent disciple, the son of Drupada, Drishtadumna.
Here we have two sides of Duryodhana. First of all, when you see the army of Pandus, then a fearfulness that gathers in his mind. And second, he approaches his teacher, Dronacharya, and provoke him. So this is a strategy he uses. Now, whenever we face problem in our life, it reminds us that we must have a strategy to deal with it.
Atra Shura Maheshasha Bhimarjuna Samayudhi Yujudhana Viratascha Drupadascha Maharatha. In this army, there are many heroic fighters, equal in fighting to Bhima and Arjuna. There are also great fighters like Yujudhana, Virata and Drupada. Drishtaketush Chakitan Kashirajascha Viryavan Purjit Kunti Bhojascha Shaivascha Narapungava. There are also great powerful fighters like Drishtaketu, Chagitana, Kashiraja, Purajit, Kunti Bhoja and Shaiva. Yudha Manuscha Vikranta Uttamojascha Viryavan Sauhadra Dropadayascha Sarvaeva Maharatha. There are the mighty Yudhamannu, the powerful Uttamoja, the son of Subhadra, the sons of Draupadi. All these are great chariot warriors.
Here it symbolizes that whenever we face problem, we must have an accurate knowledge and understanding of all aspects of the problem. To deal with the problem, we must know the problem fully. That's the idea.
अस्माकं तु विशिष्टाये तान्निबोधा द्विजत्तम नायका मम सैनस्य संगार्थं तान् ब्रभीमिते. O best of the Brahmanas, for your information, let me tell you about the captains who are to lead my military force. Bhavan Bhishmascha Karnascha Kripascha Shamitenjaya Ashwathama Vikarnascha Shomadattish Tathaivacha. There are personalities like yourself, Bhishma, Karna, Kripa, Ashwathama, Vikarna, and the son of Somdatta, that is Bodhisrava, who are always victorious in battle.
Now here it symbolizes that whenever we face problem, and the first thing that we must do is to analyze the problem, look into the different aspects of the problem or the conflict, and after knowing it, now the time is to look into ourselves. So what kind of capacities we have, what is our strength and weakness. Based on that, we can be able to conquer the problem, to deal with the problem. So this is the strategy. First, know the problem, and second, measure your ability to resist it, to fight with it.
Onnecha Bahava Shura Madathe Takta Jivita Nana Shastra Praharana Sarve Juddhe Visharada. There are many other heroes who are ready to lay down their lives for me. All of them are well equipped with weapons, and all are experienced in battle. Ayaneshu cha sarveshu yatha bhagam avasthita vishmam eva virakshantu bhavanta sarva eva hi. Now all of you must give full support to Grandfather Bhishma, standing at your respective strategic points of the battleground.
Once we assess the strength and abilities that we have, the next stage is we have to prioritize that which support system should be given the most priority, and accordingly the lesser one should be identified. Just like our family system, our friends, whenever we face problem, whenever we go through troubled years, then we must remind of it. The priority must be given to the support system, and we should analyze the support system based on the priority to deal with conflicts in our daily life.
Aparyaptam tadashmakam balam bhishma virakshitam paryaptam tadidam etesham balam bhima virakshitam. Our strength is immeasurable and perfectly protected by Grandfather Bhishma, whereas the strength of the Pandavas, protected by Bhima, is limited.
Here you can clearly see the arrogance of Duryodhana. It's very dangerous. Whenever in our practical life we face problem, we must not have this arrogance. Definitely we must have self-confidence, but that self-confidence should not be turned into an arrogance. So we must be cautious about it.
Tasya Sanjanayan Harsham Kuru Vriddha Pitamaha Simhanadam Vinodoitya Shankham Dadmu Pratapavana. Then Bhishma of the Kuru dynasty, the grandfather of the fighters, blew his conch shell very loudly, like the sound of a lion, giving Duryodhana rejoice.
Here we have two identities. One is of Duryodhana and second is Bhishma. Bhishma is a true warrior. He is confident, and we can see it from the sound of blowing of his conch shell. And second is Duryodhana. He feels rejoice after hearing that sound. So whenever in our practical life we face any conflict, we should not be like Duryodhana. Like Duryodhana is dependent on a true warrior called Bhishma. So we should not be dependent on any other. We must be a self-confident warrior in time of in times of war, in times of conflict, in times of problems.
तथा शङ्खश्च भैर्यश्च पनवानक गोमुख सहसैव बहन्नन्त सशब्दस्तुमुलभवत्. After that, the conch shells, bugles, trumpets, drums, and horns were all suddenly sounded, and the combined sound was uproarious.
Here you can see the environment of war. We must not involve in war conflicts. We should avoid it with our best efforts. But whenever a conflict starts, if we have to go through it, then always we must become Arjuna.
ततः श्वेतैर्हयैर्युक्ते महती सन्दने स्थितौ माधवा पाण्डवश्चैव दिव्यो शङ्खौ प्रदध्यवतु. On the other side, both Lord Krishna and Arjuna, stationed on a great chariot drawn by white horses, sounded their divine conch shells.
It says, war has always two fronts. You cannot have any conflict one-sidedly. What will be the positive benefits and adversities come? That will come to the both sides. And we must have that understanding or knowledge in us before we enter into a conflict.
पांचजन्यम ऋषिकेशो देवदत्तम धनंजय पौंड्रम दद्मो महाशंखम भीमकर्मा ब्रिकोदरा. Then Lord Krishna blew his conch shell called Panchajanya. Arjun blew his the Devadatta, and Bhima, the voracious eater and performer of Herculean tasks, blew his conch shell called Pondra. Ananta Vijayam Raja Kunti Putra Yudhishthira Nakula Sahadevascha Shughasha Mani Pushpaka. King Yudhishthira, the son of Kunti, blew his conch shell, the Ananta Vijaya, and Nakula and Sahadeva blew the Shughasha and Mani Pushpaka. Kashascha Parameshwasha Shikhandi cha Maharatha Drishtadamno Viratascha Shattakischa Prajita Drupado Drupadayascha Sarvasha Pratibhipate Shauhadrascha Mahabahu Shankhan Dadmu Prithak Prithak. That great archer, the king of Kashi, the great fighter Shikhandi, Drishtadamnu, Virat, an unconquerable Shattaki, Drupada, the sons of Drupadi, and the others, O king, such as the mighty armed son of Subhadra, all blew their respective conch shell.
It symbolizes a recognition of own vibes. Like there are some things with which we feel connected. So here you can see different warriors have different conch shells. It symbolizes their strength, their affirmativeness, their attachment, and their willingness. So we must have this kind of activities in our life. Say for an example, if we are very much good in sports, in music, be it other professional streams, we must have our own conch shell, based on which we can announce that we are ready to go for a conflict, we are ready to go for a fight, and ultimately we know that we will come out victorious. So that affirmativeness, that firmness towards a certain identity in life is very much required, and we must identify it.
Saghosha Dhratarashtranam Hridayani Vidarayat Navascha Prithivim Chaiva Tumulavya Nunadayan. The blowing of these conch shells became uproarious and started vibrating both in the sky and on the earth. It shattered the hearts of the sons of Dhritarashtra.
It is a very impactful strategy. Before we go for any confrontation with opposition, first what we have learned, that we must identify the oppositions. We must identify accurately their strength, their weaknesses. Then we have to look into in ourselves what we have in our basket, like our strength and weakness, to deal with this opposition side. And later on, we must find a strategy to implant fear even before the starting of the confrontation. So we must develop our personalities in such a way that before conflict starts, the opposition must have some fear. Here we have the blowing of conchshells, sound of it, the uproarious sound of it gives or implants some fear in oppositions.
अथ व्यवस्थितान् दृष्टा धृतराष्ट्रान् कपिध्वज प्रवृत्ते शस्त्रसम्पते धनुरुद्यम पाण्डवा ऋषिकेशं तदा वाक्यम् इदमह महीपते. O king, at that time Arjuna, the son of Pandu, who was seated in his chariot, bearing the flag marked with Hanuman, took up his bow and prepared to shoot his arrows, looking at the sons of Dhritarashtra. And Arjuna then spoke to Rishikesha these words. Arjuna uvacham senayorubhayor madhye ratham sthapayami achyuta yavadete niriksheham युद्ध कामान अवस्थितान कैर माया शह युद्धावम अश्मेन रन समुद्रमे. Arjun said, O infallible one, please drive my chariot between the two armies so that I can see who is present here to fight and whom I am to battle with.
योत्समानान् अवेक्षेहं यातेऽत्र समागता धातराष्ट्रस्य दुर्बुद्धेर् युद्धे प्रिया चिकीर्षव. Let me see those who have come here to fight, wishing to please the evil-minded son of Dhritarashtra. Now it symbolizes two aspects. One is a person who is full of sinful acts, who is a wrong person in nature. And the second is the foolish person. The fools always support who are doing wrong or are not right in their personal aspects. And second is the sinful persons will always try to involve into confrontation or conflicts or war or fighting always. So we must know the eternal traits or characteristics of these two types of persons. One is fool and the second is sinful persons. Sanjay Vacham Evamukta Rishikesho Gurakeshana Bharata Senayorubhayor Madhye Sthapayatva Rathottamam. Sanjay said, O descendant of Bharata, being addressed by Arjuna, Lord Krishna drove the finest chariot in the middle of the armies of the both sides. It is very important to understand that Arjuna is referred to as Gurakesha. So Gurakesha means the conqueror of sleep, and here sleep symbolizes ignorance. So a person who conquers the ignorance, he is Gurakesha. So in practical life, we must be Gurakesha. We must conquer sleep. We must conquer ignorance. We must acquire accurate knowledge, and we have to develop our personalities in such a way that we may identify what is wrong and what is right, and we always can stand with the right one. Vishmadrona Pramukhatat Sarvesham cha Mahikshitam Uvacha Partha Pashyatan Samavetan Kuruniti. In the presence of Bhishma, Drona, and all other chiefs of the world, Rishikesha, the Lord said, just see, Partha, all the Kurus who are assembled here. Tatra Pashyat Sthitan Partha, Pitran Natha Pitamahan, Acharyan Matulan Bhatran, Putran Pautran Sakhims Tatha, Sasuran Suredash Chaiva, Senayor Ubhayor Api. There Arjuna could see within the armies his fathers, grandfathers, teachers, maternal uncles, brothers, sons, grandsons, friends, and also his father-in-laws and well-wishers, all present there. तान् समीक्ष्य शौकन्त्य सर्वान् बन्धून् अवस्थितान् कृपया पर्याविष्टो विषिदान् इदम् अब्रवीत्. When the son of Kunti, Arjuna, saw all these friends and relatives, he overwhelmed with compassion and spoke the following word. Arjuna vacham drishtimam sajanam Krishna ijutsam samupasthitam shidanti mama gatrani mukham cha parishushati. Arjun said, my dear Krishna, seeing my friends and relatives present here in a fighting spirit, I feel my body is shaking and my mouth is drying up. Vepatuscha sarire me roma harshascha jayate gandivam sramshate hastat tvak chaiva pariddahate. My whole body is trembling and my hair is standing on end. My bow Gandiva is slipping from my hand and my skin is burning. Here Arjuna is in grief. He is an illusion. Practically, if we had to face our own family members, close relatives, in a direct conflict, then we also had that type of grief in our mind. So it's very important to notice that as the conflict intensifies. Now, how can we classify these conflicts? Conflicts may be with someone we don't know, conflicts with someone that we know in general. Then we can have conflicts with someone we love and care. Now, based on the degree of the conflicts, we have different types of impacts in our mind. So here we can closely see Arjuna totally is in grief as he had to face his own fathers, grandfathers, sons, and etc. Those are all close relatives of him. Nacha shaknamya avasthatum bhramati vacha me mana nimittanni cha pashvami viparitani kesava. I am now unable to stand here any longer. I am forgetting myself and my mind is an illusion. I foresee only evil, Lok Keshava. Nacha Sreyo Anapushwami Hatva Sajanam Mahabe Na Kangshe Vijayam Krishna Nacha Rajyam Shukhanicha. I do not see how any good can come from killing my own relatives in this battle, nor can I, my dear Krishna, desire any victory, kingdom or happiness. Kim no Rajanna Govinda Kim Bhoger Jivitenava Yasham Marthe Kangshitam no Rajyam Bhoga Sukhanicha. Taime avasthita yuddhe pranam stvakta dhananicha acharya pitara putrash tathaiva cha pitamaha matula sasura pautra shala sambandhinas tatha etanya hantum ichhami dhanautopi madhusudana api trilokya rajyasya heto kim no mahi krite nihatya dhritarashtranya kapritasya janardana. O Govinda, of what avail to us our kingdoms, happiness, or even life itself, when all those for whom we may desire them are now in this battlefield. O Madhusudana, when teachers, fathers, sons, grandfathers, maternal uncles, fathers-in-law, grandsons, brothers-in-law, and all relatives are ready to give up their lives and properties and are standing before me, then why should I wish to kill them? Though I may survive, O maintainer of all creatures, I am not prepared to fight with them, even in exchange for the three worlds, let alone this earth. Now Arjuna wants to escape, wants to avoid, wants to run away from this confrontation. He asked some questions to Lord Krishna. Why he is here? Just think similarly, if we had to face our close relatives, we would definitely do the same. Why we should fight with our close relatives? Why we should kill our own kinsmen? So this type of things went on or emerged into the mind of Arjuna. Papam mevasvaye dashman hatvaitan atotain tashman narhavyam hantum dhritarashtran savandhavan swajanam hi katham hatva sukhina shyama madhava. Sin will overcome us if we kill such aggressors. Therefore, it is not right for us to kill the sons of Dhritarashtra and our friends. What should we gain, O Krishna? And how could we be happy by killing our own relatives? Yaddapetena pashyanti lobhapahata chetesha kulakshaye kritam dosham mitradohe cha patakam katham na jayam ashmabhi papadashman nivartitum kulakshaye kritam dosham prapatshadvira janardana. O Janardana, although these men overtaken by greed see no fault in killing one's family, why should we, with knowledge of the sin, engage in killing? Here Kula means family and Kula dharma means family tradition. The tradition we have followed or we follow in general throughout generations by our family. Similarly, we can have community tradition or jati dharma. Now here the women are recognized as the pride of the family. If women get polluted, then we can surely say the family tradition is devastated or will be degraded. And when a dynasty falls, there is high chance of this kind of pollution and degradation of family tradition, and ultimately the dwelling of common people in Naraka. Kulakshaye pranashyanti kula dharma sanatana dharma nashte kulam krishnam adharma abhibhavatut. With the destruction of dynasty, the eternal family tradition is destroyed, and thus the rest of the family becomes involved in sinful activities. Adharma abhihavat Krishna pradushanti kulastriya srishu dushtashu varshneya jayate varna shankara. When irreligion is in the family, O Krishna, the women of the family become corrupt, and from the degradation of womanhood, O descendant of Vrishni, comes unwanted offsprings. Shankaro narakaiva kulakhnanam kulashacha patanti pitaro hesham lupto pindodoka kriya. When there is an unwanted population, a hellish situation is created both for the family and for those who destroy the family tradition. In such corrupt families, there is none to offer food and water to the ancestors. Doshe rete kulakhnanam varna shankara karake utsadante jati dharma kula dharmascha shashvata. Due to the evil deeds of the destroyer of family tradition, all kinds of community traditions and family welfare activities are devastated. Utshanya kula dharmanam manushyanam janardana narake niyatam basho bhavatitya anususrama. Here we have a very interesting term used by Arjuna when he says, when you do sinful activities, when Kula Dharma is devastated, the people live always in hell or in Narak. Now this Narak or hell is not a place, rather it is a realm of punishment. And we have, as per Hindu scriptures, we have different ways that lead us to this position or condition. First one is greed. It's very impactful. Second is lust. And the third one is anger. So these are the paths. If you have anger in you, if you have lust in you, if you have greed in you, so these are the paths that will lead you ultimately to a state, a hellish or naraka. Ahovat mahat papam kartum bhavasita vayam yad rajya shukha lobhena hantum sajanam muddata. Alas, how strange it is that we are ready to commit sinful acts driven by the desire to enjoy royal happiness. Yadi mam vapritikaram asastram sastrapanaya dhritarashtran ranihannustanme shemataram bhavet. I would consider it better for the sons of Dhritarashtra to kill me unarmed and unresisting, rather than to fight with them. Sanjay Uvacham Evamukta Arjuna Shankhe Rathopastha Upovishat Visrijye Shasharam Chapam Shoka Shambhigna Manasa. Sanjay said, Arjuna, having thus spoken, cast aside his bow and arrows and sat down on the chariot, as his mind overwhelmed with grief. Now, come to the summarization of the total knowledge that we have learned till now. Here Gita provides us a solution to every problem. As here you can have different characters that symbolizes different identities. Say for an example, Arjuna, who is a good disciple, who is curious, who has adaptive mind, who is asking everything from Lord Krishna. And Lord Krishna himself guiding him. Second, we have Duryodhana, who is evil-minded and some weakness and fearfulness in direct confrontation. There are other characters who are driven by situations and attached with sinful actors like Duryodhana. We can have example of these warriors like Bhishma, Karna, and there is another one who knows everything, which is right, which is wrong, but still is with the wrong people, sinful people, out of his love and compassion. Ultimate reality here in our daily life, if we face problem, then how can we be able to counter it? First, we must have confidence in us. Confidently, we have to face problems. Second, we must acquire accurate knowledge about the every aspect of the problem. Third, we have to look into our own strength and weakness to deal with and to solve the problem. And last, we must build some strategies to deal with it. Say for an example, from Gita we have learned there are some strategies of implanting fear in opposition's mind. Second is provoking old scars. Then apart from it, we have other strategies like prioritizing our own strength, like which support system of us should be given more priority, which should be less. In case of Duryodhana, he knows that Bhishma is very powerful, he alone can be able to defeat Pandus. So therefore he told his other chieftains, captains that always support Bhishma. So these are the strategies that we get, that we can understand from the first chapter of Bhagavad Gita. And with the passing of time, I will be uploading the successive chapters as per my understanding of Bhagavad Gita. So this is for now. Thank you.